अक्टूबर 2008 में पीएसएलवी। धन्यवाद आरुषि। अगर मैं सही मायने में कहूँ तो अंतरिक्ष का कोई भी मिशन हो और चाहे किसी भी देश के द्वारा संचालित किया जा रहा हो, इसरो मिशन की निश्चितता और अनिश्चितता के बीच बहुत ही महीन अंतर होता है, जिससे कि एक मिशन सफल या असफल होता है। लेकिन ना हम थके, ना हम हारे। हमने पिछली कमियों को सुधारते हुए आज पूरी तरह से आश्वस्त किया है कि लैंडर मॉड्यूल निश्चित तौर पे चंद्रमा के सतह पर सेफ और सॉफ्ट लैंडिंग करेगा। सभी दर्शकों के जानकारी के लिए अब हम इसरो के अब तक के सभी लूनर मिशंस को संक्षिप्त विवरण प्रस्तुत करेंगे। जी हाँ, इसरो का पहला मून मिशन चंद्रयान-1 अक्टूबर 2008 में पीएसएलवी रॉकेट के द्वारा सफलतापूर्वक प्रक्षेपित किया गया था। चंद्रयान-1 ने चंद्रमा के सतह पर पानी की खोज करके पहले ही इतिहास रच चुका है। यही कारण है कि आजकल विश्व के तमाम अंतरिक्ष वैज्ञानिक और स्पेस एजेंसियां चंद्रमा को और करीब से जानने के लिए उत्सुक दिख रही हैं। अगर हम बात करें चंद्रयान-2 की, जो इसरो का दूसरा मिशन है, जुलाई 2019 में इसरो के सबसे ताकतवर रॉकेट LVM-3 द्वारा सफलतापूर्वक प्रक्षेपित किया गया था और आज भी लगभग 4 साल बाद यह चंद्रमा के 100 किलोमीटर के सर्कुलर ऑर्बिट में घूमते हुए बहुत ही उत्तम क्वालिटी का डेटा प्रदान कर रहा है। मिशन के प्रारंभ में इसकी आयु 1 साल निर्धारित की गई थी, परंतु LVM-3 द्वारा बहुत ही सटीक इंजेक्शन और मिशन मैनेजमेंट की वजह से चंद्रयान-2 काफ़ी लंबे समय तक कार्यरत रहेगा। अब तक चंद्रयान-2 चंद्रमा के लगभग सभी भागों का चित्र ले चुका है। इसका एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण पेलोड OHRC यानी कि ऑर्बिटर हाई रेजोल्यूशन कैमरा विश्व का सबसे बेहतरीन कैमरा है, जो कि चंद्रमा की सतह का लगातार पिक्चर भेज रहा है। अब मैं आरुषि जी से निवेदन करूंगा कि वो आप लोगों को इसरो के वर्तमान मिशन चंद्रयान-3 के बारे में बताएं।
अभी आपने मिश्रा जी के द्वारा सुना इसरो के अब तक के लूनार मिशंस का विवरण। अब चलते हैं टुवर्ड्स Chandrayaan-3, the follow-up mission of Chandrayaan-2, which has been designed to accomplish our mission goals. The primary objective of Chandrayaan-3 mission is the demonstration of safe and soft landing on the lunar surface. This demonstration is a critical aspect for ISRO's future interplanetary missions. In addition to this, the mission objectives also include demonstration of roving capability and conduction of in situ scientific experiments on Moon's surface. Carried on the shoulders of India's heaviest rocket LVM-3 on the 14th of July, Chandrayaan-3 was placed in the precise elliptic parking orbit of size 170 by 36,500 kilometers. ISRO, in its mission plan of following the incremental trajectory approach, carried a total of 5 earthbound maneuvers. The fifth apogee-raising maneuver, which took place on the 25th of July, placed the spacecraft in an orbit of 250 by 1,27,000 kilometers. At the early hours of 1st August, the translunar injection was carried out, after which the composite module began the final leg of its long journey of nearly 3,84,000 kilometers for its rendezvous with the Moon. The TLI was a key step in the mission, enabling the spacecraft to escape Earth's gravitational pull and travel to the Moon. An orbit of 288 by 3,69,328 kilometers was achieved at the end of the translunar injection.
जी हाँ, ट्रांसलूनर इंजेक्शन किसी भी इंटरप्लेनेटरी मिशन के लिए बहुत ही आवश्यक परंतु कठिन ऑपरेशन होता है। इस सफल मैन्यूवर के बाद चंद्रयान-3 पृथ्वी से दूर निकलकर चंद्रमा के प्रभाव क्षेत्र में एक हाइपरबोलिक ट्रेजेक्टरी के द्वारा पहुंचाया गया। पुनः 5 अगस्त 2023 को लूनर ऑर्बिट इंसर्शन के द्वारा चंद्रयान-3 को 160 किलोमीटर के पेरिलून और 18,000 किलोमीटर के अपोलून के साथ चंद्रमा के इलिप्टिकल ऑर्बिट में स्थापित कर दिया गया। टीएलआई के तरह एलओआई भी एक बहुत जटिल ऑपरेशन होता है। इसमें हमें यह ध्यान देना आवश्यक होता है कि उपग्रह के वेग मान को एक निश्चित बिंदु से घटाया जा सके, अन्यथा उपग्रह चंद्रमा के प्रभाव क्षेत्र से बाहर निकल जाएगा। एलओआई के सफलतापूर्वक परिचालन के बाद चंद्रयान 3 की कक्षा को 4 बार और परिवर्तित किया गया। इस दौरान चंद्रमा की अधिकतम ऊंचाई को घटाकर 160 किलोमीटर कर दिया गया। इस पूरी प्रक्रिया में propulsion मॉड्यूल का लगभग 755 किलोग्राम ईंधन का उपयोग हुआ और चंद्रयान 3 के वेग मान को लगभग 850 मीटर प्रति सेकंड कम कर दिया गया। लैंडर मॉड्यूल को लगभग 150 किलोमीटर के सर्कुलर ऑर्बिट में स्थापित करने के बाद 17 अगस्त 2023 को propulsion मॉड्यूल से अलग कर दिया गया। पुनः लैंडर मॉडल के ऑर्बिट को 2 डीबूस्ट मैन्यूवर्स के द्वारा 150 किलोमीटर के सर्कुलर ऑर्बिट से घटाकर 25 गुणे 130 किलोमीटर के एलिप्टिकल ऑर्बिट में स्थापित कर दिया गया। इस दौरान यह भी सुनिश्चित कर दिया गया कि 800 न्यूटन के चारों थ्रोटेबल थ्रस्टर्स पावर डिसेंट के समय किसी भी चुनौती का सामना कर सकें। लैंडर मॉड्यूल इस ऑर्बिट में 4 दिन तक चंद्रमा की परिक्रमा करता रहा ताकि इसके सभी सब सिस्टम को पावर डिसेंट से पहले कार्यात्मक रूप से वेरीफाई और वैलिडेट किया जा सके। इस दौरान चंद्रयान 2 और लैंडर मॉड्यूल की आपस में बातचीत भी हो चुकी है। और संक्षेप में अब तक की यात्रा की बात करें तो लैंडर मॉड्यूल अब तक 21 बार पृथ्वी के और लगभग 120 बार चंद्रमा का चक्कर लगा चुका है और इस पूरी यात्रा में लगभग 55 लाख किलोमीटर की यात्रा भी पूरी कर चुका है। अब तक के इस पूरे अभियान में यह भी सुनिश्चित किया गया कि सारे ऑर्बिट मैन्यूवर्स इस प्रकार किए जाएं कि लैंडिंग साइट पावर डिसेंट की शुरुआत से ही लैंडर के ऑर्बिटल प्लेन में बना रहे।
Make it further
That is true
complicated.
indeed. We have arrived at the crucial juncture wherein the orbit plane contains the desired landing site at the start of powered descent. We are also happy to announce that live images from the Chandrayaan-3 lander imager camera is being received continuously. The demonstration of soft landing on the moon's surface is no ordinary feat due to the innumerable challenges and complexities involved. The lander velocity has to be killed from nearly 6,048 kilometers per hour without any aid from the thin and tenuous moon's atmosphere. The lunar dust at the time of landing and the craters and boulders scattered over the moon's surface make it further complicated to achieve this. The new and improved Chandrayaan-3 design has been built after envisaging all the scenarios which the lander module can encounter. With several software improvements, provision for full-level redundancies, a plethora of special tests, namely the integrated hot test, integrated cold test, and lander leg drop tests were carried out for the lander module. The success of these tests has provided great confidence in the performance of all the onboard sensors, propulsion system, and associated guidance, control, and navigation algorithms. The key findings during the tests have enabled to improve the overall system performance. The largely unexplored south pole of the moon has been chosen as the intended landing site since there is a possibility of finding ice and other minerals which would be vital resources for future explorers. Apart from continuing investigations pioneered by Chandrayaan-1 and Chandrayaan-2, the Chandrayaan-3 mission will also provide invaluable data to the science community around the world. Let us give our viewers a glimpse on the configuration of Chandrayaan-3 mission.
चंद्रयान 3 का मिशन प्लान लगभग चंद्रयान 2 के तरह ही बनाया गया है। यहाँ यह भी सुनिश्चित किया गया है कि चंद्रयान 3 को रॉकेट से अलग होने से लेकर के चंद्रमा के निकटतम कक्षा में स्थापित होने तक सारी गतिविधियां चंद्रयान 2 के तरह ही हों। और अब हम यह कह सकते हैं कि यह प्लान पूरी तरह से 100% सफल रहा। हालांकि लैंडर मॉड्यूल के सेंसर्स और propulsion सिस्टम को इस तरह से मजबूत किया गया है कि लैंडर पावर डिसेंट के समय किसी भी आपदा से बाहर आकर के मिशन के मुख्य उद्देश्य को पूरा कर सके। इस क्रम में लैंडर के मुख्य सेंसर्स कारा, लासा, एलएचबीसी, एलडीवी और एलएचडैक का कार्यात्मक परीक्षण भी किया जा चुका है। एलडीवी, जो कि पूर्णतः स्वदेशी तकनीकी से बनाया गया एक नया सेंसर है, इसका मुख्य कार्य लैंडर के वेलोसिटी को तीनों अक्षों में कंप्यूट करना है। पावर डिसेंट के दौरान लैंडर के सटीक पोजीशन और वेलोसिटी का ज्ञान होना बहुत ही आवश्यक है। लिराप यानी लेजर इनर्शियल रिफरेंसिंग एंड एक्सीलरोमीटर पैकेज इस कार्य को पावर डिसेंट के दौरान बखूबी निभाएगा। ट्रैजेक्टरी जनरेशन, जो कि चंद्रयान 3 मिशन के लिए बहुत ही अहम है, क्योंकि हर ऑर्बिट मैन्यूवर के बाद यह सुनिश्चित किया जाता है कि लैंडर की मिशन ऑब्जेक्टिव को ना बदले। इस क्रम में मैं यह भी आपको बता दूं कि ऑर्बिट डिटर्मिनेशन, जो कि उपग्रह के पोजीशन और वेलोसिटी को बहुत ही एक्यूरेटली बताता है, एक बहुत ही कठिन और जटिल कंप्यूटेशन और एस्टिमेशन होता है। यहाँ यह भी जानना महत्वपूर्ण है कि चंद्रयान 2 का OHRC पेलोड अब तक काफ़ी ऊंचे स्तर का डैम प्रदान किया है, जिसके फलस्वरूप लैंडिंग साइट के सीमा को बढ़ाकर 4 गुणे 2.4 किलोमीटर कर दिया गया है, जो कि पावर डिसेंट के दौरान सॉफ्ट लैंडिंग कराने में काफ़ी सहायक सिद्ध होगा।
Apart from the sensors, Chandrayaan-3 is equipped with a suite of sophisticated payload instruments. While Chandrayaan-1 and Chandrayaan-2 orbiter have provided abundant remote sensing data of Moon, equally important are the on-site localized measurements that provide ground truths. Lander and rover have payloads which are completely new and will perform in situ analysis of lunar surface. The two spectroscopes on rover, APXS and LIBS, will actively measure the surface elemental abundances at the landing location and surrounding area. The lander carries a seismometer ILSA that can sense impact events and lunar quakes. The thermal probe CHAST will measure the temperature profile and thermal conductivity of Moon's regolith. The Rambha payload will carry out lunar ionosphere studies, while the laser retroreflector array shall be a passive location indicator for future spacecraft equipped with laser altimeter. The propulsion module has not been left behind, and an experimental shape payload has been added to it as a value addition. It will help in understanding the nature and characteristics of water-rich planets and will also aid in the future study of potentially habitable exoplanets. We are minutes away from the start of powered descent. The entire powered descent shall be carried out by the onboard autonomous landing sequencer, or ALS, which is a series of instructions preloaded to the lander module. These instructions include the commands to be executed, data to be collected and analyzed, and decisions to be made and executed autonomously throughout the powered descent.
जी हाँ, अब हम पावर डिसेंट के बहुत ही करीब आ चुके हैं। हम आपको बताते चलें कि पावर डिसेंट को कुल 4 चरणों में बांटा गया है। सबसे पहले आता है रफ ब्रेकिंग फेज, जिसमें लैंडर की ऊंचाई को चंद्रमा की सतह से 30 किलोमीटर से घटाकर 7.4 किलोमीटर कर दिया जाएगा। इस पूरी प्रक्रिया को पूरा करने में लगभग 11.5 मिनट लगेगा और इसका समानांतर वेग 1680 मीटर प्रति सेकंड से घटाकर 358 मीटर प्रति सेकंड हो जाएगा।
We have continuous flow of lander telemetry data from ISRO's Deep Space Network IDSN-32 located in Belalu, Bengaluru. The data is being acquired real-time by station and is flown to the Mission Operation Complex through our communication links. In addition to it, we also have support from ESA and JPL DSN stations. There will be no ground intervention once the ALS takes charge. The preparation for today's event had started 48 hours before wherein various pre-selections and uplinking of parameters for the autonomous landing sequence were carried out. The whole descent is divided into 4 phases: the rough braking phase, the attitude hold phase, fine braking phase, and the local navigation phase or the terminal descent phase.
जी हाँ, एटीट्यूड होल्ड फेज, जो कि पावर डिसेंट का दूसरा चरण है, एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण फेज है। इस 10 सेकंड के स्मॉल ड्यूरेशन के दौरान लैंडर के दो महत्वपूर्ण सेंसर, कारा और लासा, लैंडर की ऊंचाई की गणना करेंगे। इस फेज के पूरा होते ही लैंडर चंद्रमा के सतह से कुल 6.8 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पर होगा।
During the rough braking phase, the lander velocity shall be brought down from 1680 meters per second to 358 meters per second. The altitude will be brought down from 30 kilometers to 7.4 kilometers at the end of rough braking. Currently, we can see the scientists are analyzing the lander data.
जी हाँ, हम ये देख सकते हैं कि मिशन ऑपरेशन कॉम्प्लेक्स रूप में बैठे सभी वैज्ञानिक ये जो भी डेटा देख रहे हैं वो डीप स्पेस नेटवर्क आईडीएसन 32 के द्वारा प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है। और अगर हम अब बात करें पावर डिसेंट के तीसरे चरण का, जो कि फाइन ब्रेकिंग फेज होगा, जिसमें लैंडर लैंडिंग साइट से जस्ट 800 मीटर की ऊंचाई पर वर्टिकली होगा। इस चरण को पूरा होने में लगभग 3 मिनट लगेंगे और इस चरण के पूरा होते ही लैंडर की वेलोसिटी लगभग शून्य हो जाएगी।
The scientists here at his track are glued to their systems, analyzing all sorts of complex data. We are very close to the powered descent, to the start of the powered descent phase.
जी हाँ, अगर 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 हम अब बात करें पावर डिसेंट के चौथे और अंतिम चरण का, जो कि लोकल नेविगेशन फेज या टर्मिनल डिसेंट फेज भी कहा जाता है, इस दौरान लैंडर के दो इंजन बंद कर दिए जाएंगे और लैंडर के सेंसरों द्वारा इसके हाइट और वेलोसिटी की गणना इनर्शियल नेविगेशन को भेज दिया जाएगा। इस दौरान लैंडर 150 मीटर की ऊंचाई को प्राप्त करने के बाद कुल 131 सेकंड लगाएगा। इस पड़ाव पे आने के बाद पुनः लैंडर 22 सेकंड के लिए हवरिंग करेगा। आप इस समय अपने स्क्रीन पे मिशन ऑपरेशन कॉम्प्लेक्स में बैठे सभी मान्यगणों को देख सकते हैं, जो कि बहुत ही उत्सुकता के साथ टेलीमेट्री डेटा को देख रहे हैं। अभी हम लोग पावर डिसेंट शुरू होने से जस्ट कुछ ही पल दूर हैं। पावर डिसेंट शुरू होने में लगभग 30 सेकंड ही बचा है और हमको ये सारे डेटा मिशन ऑपरेशन कॉम्प्लेक्स रूम में आईडीएसन 32 के द्वारा, जो कि लगातार लैंडर के कनेक्शन में बना हुआ है, प्रदान कर रहा है।
Dear viewers, the pivotal power descent has begun and the lander module is propelling towards the moon's surface along the intended trajectory.
जी हाँ, अब हम देख सकते हैं रफ ब्रेकिंग फेज की शुरुआत हो चुकी है।
During this rough braking phase, The lander velocity shall be brought down from 1680 meters per second to 358 meters per second. The altitude will be brought down from 30 kilometers to 7.4 kilometers at the end of rough braking. All this in the duration of 690 seconds or 11.5 minutes. Currently, the Laser Inertial Reference and Accelerometer package (LIRAP) is aiding in the navigation.
जी हाँ, अभी आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर अब तक कुल 191 किलोमीटर हॉरिजेंटल दिशा में चल चुका है और अभी तक इसकी वेलोसिटी लगभग 31 किलोमीटर बनी हुई है।
The lander module has traveled a distance of approximately 228 kilometers. The complete downrange that will be traveled during this phase shall be nearly 713.5 kilometers.
जी हाँ, कुल 745 किलोमीटर के इस रफ ब्रेकिंग फेज में आप देख सकते हैं कि हम लोग लगभग अपनी यात्रा 20% कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं। पावर डिसेंट की यह शुरुआत हम कह सकते हैं कि बहुत ही सटीक और सधी हुई है, जिसमें लैंडर अपने वेगमान को अनुमानित तरीके से घटा रहा है।
The altitude of the lander module will reduce from 7.4 kilometers to 6.8 kilometers. During the next phase, which is going to be the attitude hold phase. We can currently see that the altitude of the lander module is nearly 31 kilometers.
आरुषि, अभी हम इस ग्राउंड रेस को देखते हुए कह सकते हैं कि रफ ब्रेकिंग फेज की शुरुआत बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से हुई है। आप ये देख सकती हैं कि जो भी प्रोजेक्टेड ग्राउंड रेस है उसी पे अपना लैंडर मॉड्यूल आगे चलते हुए बढ़ रहा है। अभी तक ये देखा जा सकता है कि लैंडर मॉड्यूल लगभग 370 किलोमीटर क्षैतिज दिशा में चल चुका है।
The mission operations team is analyzing the data. We can all see the seriousness and the concentration with which each and every parameter of the lander module is being analyzed. The performance so far seems to be nominal.
जी आरुषि, चूंकि एएलएस एक्टिवेट किया जा चुका है इसलिए ग्राउंड से कोई कमांडिंग नहीं की जा रही है। इस दौरान आपके स्क्रीन पे सारे डेटा इसरो के डीप स्पेस नेटवर्क से रियल टाइम में आ रहे हैं। इस मिशन में सेकेंड और थर्ड ऑर्डर गाइडेंस पॉलिनोमियल का प्रयोग हुआ है, जो कि इनर्शियल थ्रस्ट और एंगल के हमेशा सुनिश्चित करेगा।
During the entire descent, there is no ground intervention as the ALS has taken charge. The preparation for today's event had started nearly 48 hours before, wherein various pre-selections and uplinking of parameters were done. We can see that the vertical velocity of the lander module has been brought down. It is continuously coming down. And the ALS had already been initiated 1 hour before the scheduled time of the power descent start. Following this, the throttleable engine electronics module, the TECM, was switched on and lander was oriented to the favorable attitude.
जी हाँ, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं वेलोसिटी 1680 मीटर पर सेकंड थी, लगभग 1150 मीटर पर सेकंड हो चुकी है, जो कि एक बहुत ही मैजेस्टिक शुरुआत कही जा सकती है इस रफ ब्रेकिंग फेज के लिए। यहाँ पे मैं आपको ये भी बताते चलूँ कि आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि द लैंडर मॉड्यूल का आल्टीट्यूड धीरे धीरे अब कम होता हुआ दिख रहा है, और जो कि एक्सपेक्टेड भी है। अभी हम बात करें करंट आल्टीट्यूड की, तो जो कि 28.6 किलोमीटर के आसपास है।
आप स्क्रीन पर ये भी देख सकते हैं चंद्रयान 3 लैंडर इमेजर डिस्प्ले. The lander imager is continuously taking photographs of the moon's surface, and that is also being streamed here. Currently the horizontal velocity has been brought down and the distance traveled is 574 kilometers. The current altitude is 27 kilometers as can be seen on the screen.
जी हाँ, करीब करीब अपने आधे सफ़र को पूरा करते हुए इस रफ ब्रेकिंग फेज में लैंडर बहुत ही आगे की तरफ बढ़ते हुए अपनी ऊंचाई को घटा रहा है। अगर अब बात करें तो लैंडर की ऊंचाई चंद्रमा के सतह से लगभग 27 किलोमीटर से नीचे हो चुकी है, करीब करीब 26.7 किलोमीटर के आसपास है।
The next phase after the rough braking phase is the attitude hold phase, which will be for a duration of nearly 10 seconds. The lander will be oriented such that both the altimeters will be looking exactly towards the moon's surface. At the end of this attitude hold phase, height measurement update to navigation system will be given from the laser and car band altimeters. Currently, we are in the middle of the rough braking phase.
जी हाँ, अगर हम ध्यान से देखें तो लगभग 8 की यात्रा के बाद लैंडर अपनी हॉरिजेंटल वेलोसिटी को लगातार कम करते हुए अपनी ऊंचाई, अभी की ऊंचाई के समय 24 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई प्राप्त कर चुका है। अब तक के आंकड़े को देखते हुए हम कह सकते हैं कि लैंडिंग पूरी तरह से नॉमिनल है। यहाँ पर हम देख सकते हैं कि हॉरिजेंटल वेलोसिटी लगातार कम होती हुई दिख रही है। The altitude of lander from ground is currently 22 kilometer, which is again going to be coming down, and that is expected.
For the viewers who have joined now, we are in the power descent phase, and we are in the rough braking phase, which is the first phase of the power descent. We have currently traveled a downrange of 697 kilometers, and the downrange that has to be traveled during this phase is 713.5 kilometers.
जी हाँ, अभी आप देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की हॉरिजेंटल वेलोसिटी लगभग 720 मीटर प्रति सेकंड हो गई है। लगभग हम ये कह सकते हैं कि 900 मीटर प्रति सेकंड वेलोसिटी को कम किया जा चुका है। At the same time, we can see the altitude of the lander is just 17.8 kilometer from the moon surface, which is going to be around 7.4 at the end of the rough braking phase.
इस phase के बाद हम जाएंगे towards the attitude hold phase, where we will be expecting sensor update from the laser and car band altimeters. We can see the visualization of the lander module moving towards the moon's surface. The current altitude is nearly 15.2 kilometers and the distance traveled is 754 kilometers. We can also see the image that the lander imager camera has been providing.
जी हाँ, इस रफ ब्रेकिंग फेज के दौरान 800 न्यूटन के चारों थ्रोटल इंजन अपने कार्य को पूरी तरह से अंजाम दे रहे हैं और लैंडर के हॉरिजॉन्टल वेलोसिटी को लगातार कम कर रहे हैं। अब तक लैंडर लगभग अपने 75 से 80% की यात्रा को पूरा कर चुका है।
After the rough braking and the attitude hold phase, we shall be having the fine braking phase, which will continue for nearly 3 minutes. The whole phase is being driven by the autonomous landing sequencer and there is no intervention from ground.
जी हाँ आरुषि, अभी आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकती हैं कि जो करंट आल्टीट्यूड है चंद्रमा के सतह से लगभग लगभग 10 किलोमीटर के आसपास है। जी हाँ, हम अपने जी हाँ, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी हम सभी का उत्साहवर्धन करने के लिए दक्षिणी अफ्रीका के जोहानसबर्ग से जुड़ गए हैं।
Yes, we are privileged to have with us Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has joined us from South Africa's Johannesburg to encourage us.
जी हाँ, आप ये देख सकते हैं एल्टीट्यूड होल्ड फेस भी बहुत ही आसानी से लैंडर फेस ने पार कर लिया है और अब फाइन ब्रेकिंग की शुरुआत हो चुकी है। अभी हम ये देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग 5.6 किलोमीटर है, जो कि इस फेज के उपरांत लगभग लगभग 800 मीटर हो जाएगी।
We can hear from the mission operations team that the sensors are performing nominally and we are currently in the midst of the fine braking phase which is going to continue for 3 minutes and the altitude is going to be reduced to nearly 800 meters at the end of this phase.
जी हाँ, जैसा कि आरुषि जी ने बताया कि लगभग 3 मिनट के उपरांत लैंडर की हाइट लगभग 800 मीटर वर्टिकली होगी और यहाँ पे लैंडर की हॉरिजेंटल वेलोसिटी, वर्टिकल वेलोसिटी, इवन डाउन रेंज भी लगभग लगभग शून्य होगा।
We can see the visual of the lander module and we can see that the downrange traveled is nearly 831 kilometers.
जी हाँ, आप अपनी स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई अब चंद्रमा के सतह से लगभग 3 किलोमीटर से कम हो चुकी है।
We are very close to the moon's surface, nearly 2.6 kilometers as we can see.
जी हाँ, अभी आप देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग लगभग 1 किलोमीटर के आसपास है।
We are nearing the final phase of the power descent, which is going to be the vertical descent phase or the local navigation phase.
जी हाँ, अब हम फाइन ब्रेकिंग वेव के एकदम करीब आ चुके हैं। हाँ, आप तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट से सुन सकते हैं कि हम लोगों ने तीसरे चरण को भी बहुत ही सफलतापूर्वक हासिल कर लिया है और अभी हम वर्टिकल डिसेंट फेज में आ चुके हैं, जिसकी शुरुआत भी बहुत ही अच्छे ढंग से हो चुकी है।
Lot of applause indicates that till now the performance has been nominal. We are in the vertical descent phase 1. The altitude is being brought down from 800 meters and we are nearing and approaching the lunar surface.
जी, आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर का हाइट लगातार कम होता जा रहा है। इस समय हम लैंडिंग साइट के जस्ट ऊपर हैं और इस समय इसकी ऊंचाई लगभग 600 मीटर के आसपास है। इस फेज के दौरान लगभग 150 मीटर के ऊंचाई पे पहुंचने के बाद लैंडर अगेन लगभग 20 से 22 सेकंड के लिए हॉवरिंग करेगा।
We are above the landing site. The horizontal as well as the vertical velocity is now being constantly reduced, and the lander module has begun its descent towards the landing site.
जी हाँ, आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं ये जो पथ निर्धारित किया गया है, लैंडर पूरी तरह से उसी को ही फॉलो कर रहा है। इस समय हम लगभग 200 मीटर की हाइट से भी कम आ चुके हैं। अब हम ये देख सकते हैं कि हम लगभग 150 मीटर की ऊंचाई पे हैं चंद्रमा के सतह से।
We are approaching the vertical descent phase 2, which will have the lander module hovering at nearly 150 meters above
जी
the
हाँ,
lunar surface.
जी हाँ, आप इस तालियों के गड़गड़ाहट को सुन सकते हैं जो कि सेकंड हैवरिक फेज के कंप्लीट होने के बाद इन सारे वैज्ञानिकों के द्वारा की जा रही है। जी हाँ, आप अगर फिर से ध्यान से देखें तो एल्टीट्यूड पुनः कम होता जा रहा है। अभी हम लोग लगभग 135 मीटर की ऊंचाई पे हैं।
The sensors that are updating at this point are providing confirmation of the safety of the landing site.
As expected, the retargeting is going on and this is a very good signature for the lander. अभी आप ये देख सकते हैं कि लैंडर की ऊंचाई लगभग 65 मीटर के आसपास बची हुई है।
Currently, only 2 engines are now being fired, and we are nearly at zero velocity, vertical and horizontal. We were hovering, and now we are approaching the moon's surface.
धीरे धीरे लैंडर की वेगमान को कम किया जा रहा है और हम अब लगभग 50 मीटर से भी कम आ चुके हैं।
We can see the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, who is here to encourage us, and he is critically looking at the visuals.
जी हाँ, आप अपने स्क्रीन पे देख सकते हैं कि हम लैंडर मॉड्यूल
People are applauding. Let
लैंडर
us all
मॉड्यूल
wait to hear from the Secretary Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा के सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है। ये हम लोगों के लिए बहुत ही गर्व की बात है। हिंदी में एक कहावत है कि चंदा मामा दूर के, लेकिन अब हम ये कह सकते हैं कि चंदा मामा अपने घर के।
बहुत ही उम्दा. The hard work of the entire ISRO community has come to fruition.
आदरणीय आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, नमस्कार. Sir, we have achieved soft landing on the moon. India is on the moon. Sir, I request our Honorable Prime Minister to address us and bless us. Thank you, sir.
मेरे प्यारे परिवारजनों, जब हम अपनी आंखों के सामने ऐसा इतिहास बनते हुए देखते हैं तो जीवन धन्य हो जाता है। ऐसी ऐतिहासिक घटनाएं राष्ट्र जीवन की चिरंजीव चेतना बन जाती है। ये पल अविस्मरणीय है। ये क्षण अभूतपूर्व है। ये क्षण विकसित भारत के शंखनाद का है। ये क्षण नए भारत के जयघोष का है। ये क्षण मुश्किलों के महासागर को पार करने का है। ये क्षण जीत के चंद्र पथ पर चलने का है। ये क्षण 140 करोड़ धड़कनों के सामर्थ्य का है। ये क्षण भारत में नई ऊर्जा, नया विश्वास, नई चेतना का है। ये क्षण भारत के उदयमान भाग्य के आह्वान का है। अमृत काल की प्रथम प्रभा में सफलता की ये अमृत वर्षा हुई है। हमने धरती पर संकल्प लिया और चांद पर उसे साकार किया। और हमारे वैज्ञानिक साथियों ने भी कहा, इंडिया इज नाउ ऑन द मून। आज हम अंतरिक्ष में नए भारत की नई उड़ान के साक्षी बने हैं। साथियों, मैं इस समय ब्रिक्स समिट में हिस्सा लेने के लिए दक्षिण अफ्रीका में हूं, लेकिन हर देशवासी की तरह मेरा मन चंद्रयान महाअभियान पर भी लगा हुआ था। नया इतिहास बनते ही हर भारतीय जश्न में डूब गया है। हर घर में उत्सव शुरू हो गया है। हृदय से मैं भी अपने देशवासियों के साथ, अपने परिवारजनों के साथ इस उमंग और उल्लास से जुड़ा हुआ हूं। मैं टीम चंद्रयान को, इसरो को और देश के सभी वैज्ञानिकों को जी जान से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, जिन्होंने इस पल के लिए वर्षों तक इतना परिश्रम किया है। उत्साह, उमंग, आनंद और भावुकता से भरे इस अद्भुत पल के लिए मैं 140 करोड़ देशवासियों को भी कोटि कोटि बधाइयां देता हूं। मेरे परिवारजनों, हमारे वैज्ञानिकों के परिश्रम और प्रतिभा से भारत चंद्रमा के उस दक्षिणी ध्रुव पर पहुंचा है, जहां आज तक दुनिया का कोई भी देश नहीं पहुंच सका। अब आज के बाद से चांद से जुड़े मिथक बदल जाएंगे, कथानक भी बदल जाएंगे और नई पीढ़ी के लिए कहावतें भी बदल जाएगी। भारत में तो हम सभी लोग धरती को मां कहते हैं और चांद को मामा बुलाते हैं। कभी कहा जाता था चंदा मामा बहुत दूर के हैं, चंदा मामा बहुत दूर के हैं। अब एक दिन वो भी आएगा जब बच्चे कहा करेंगे चंदा मामा बस एक टूर के हैं। फ्रेंड्स, on this joyous occasion, I would like to address all the people of the world, the people of every country and region. India's successful moon mission is not just India's alone. This is a year in which the world is witnessing India's G20 presidency. Our approach of one earth, one family, one future is resonating across the globe. This human-centric approach that we present and that we represent has been welcomed universally. Our moon mission is also based on the same human-centric approach. Therefore, this success belongs to all of humanity, and it will help moon missions by other countries in the future. I am confident that all countries in the world, including those from the global south, are capable of achieving such feats. We can all aspire for the moon and beyond. मेरे परिवारजनों, चंद्रयान महाअभियान के ये उपलब्धि भारत की उड़ान को चंद्रमा की कक्षाओं से आगे जाएगी। हम हमारे सौर मंडल की सीमाओं का सामर्थ्य परखेंगे और मानव के लिए ब्रह्मांड की अनेक संभावनाओं को साकार करने के लिए भी जरूर काम करेंगे। हमने भविष्य के लिए कई बड़े और महत्वाकांक्षी लक्ष्य तय किए हैं। जल्द ही सूर्य के विस्तृत अध्ययन के लिए इसरो आदित्य L1 मिशन लॉन्च करने जा रहा है। इसके बाद शुक्र भी इसरो के लक्ष्यों में से एक है। गगनयान के जरिए देश अपने पहले ह्यूमन स्पेस फ्लाइट मिशन के लिए भी पूरी तैयारी के साथ जुटा है। भारत बार बार ये साबित कर रहा है कि स्काई इज नॉट द लिमिट। साथियों, साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी देश के उज्जवल भविष्य का आधार है। इसलिए आज के इस दिन को देश हमेशा हमेशा के लिए याद रखेगा। यह दिन हम सभी को एक उज्जवल भविष्य की ओर बढ़ने के लिए प्रेरित करेगा। ये दिन हमें अपने संकल्पों की सिद्धि का रास्ता दिखाएगा। ये दिन इस बात का प्रतीक है कि हार से सबक लेकर जीत कैसे हासिल की जाती है। एक बार फिर देश के सभी वैज्ञानिकों को बहुत बहुत बधाई और भविष्य के मिशन के लिए ढेरों शुभकामनाएं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Adharaniya Pradhan Mantri ji, for being part of our journey to this success. And let me take this opportunity to thank the people behind this mission, the project director of Chandrayaan-3. He is here. Veera Muthuvel, congratulations to you. The associate project director, Kalpana, and the mission operations director, Srikanth. And the satellite was built at your house satellite center, Shankaran, the director. Thank you, sir. Hello.
It's a great moment of happiness on behalf of team. It gives me immense satisfaction on achieving this goal as a project director of this mission. The entire mission operations right from launch till landing happened flawlessly as per the timeline, and we became the 4th country to demonstrate the soft landing onto the moon surface, and we became the first country to go to near to the south pole of the moon. I take this opportunity to thank navigation, guidance and control team, propulsion team, sensors team and all the mainframe subsystems team who have brought success to this mission. I also take the opportunity to thank the Critical Operations Review Committee for thoroughly reviewing the mission operations right from launch till this date. The target was on spot because of the review process. I also thank the ISRO higher management, right from Chairman ISRO, Director URSC and all the center directors and higher ISRO officials. And finally, my thanks to the Chandrayaan-3 project executives spread across the ISRO centers. Thank you.
Mission Director Srikanth.
It gives me an immense pleasure to be part of Chandrayaan-3 and acting as Mission Director. I would like to thank each and every team member who has supported in carrying out all the mission operations flawlessly. And I would like to thank my senior management, Chairman ISRO, Director URSC, my senior colleagues and my team members for carrying out and supporting all the things carrying out in a proper way. Thank you very much.
Associate Project Director Kalpana.
Good evening to all. This will remain the most memorable and the happiest moment for all of us, for our team Chandrayaan-3. We have achieved our goal flawlessly. From the day we started rebuilding our spacecraft after Chandrayaan-2 experience, it has been breathe in, breathe out Chandrayaan-3 for our team. And starting from the reconfiguration to all the special tests and the simulations we have conducted meticulously, and this has been possible only because of our immense effort from our Chandrayaan-3 team, and of course with the guidance from our Chairman ISRO, our directors and all our experts. With all this, it has been possible. Thank you one and all. Thank you for all the minutest help which has been provided from all the areas of departments. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Chandrayaan-3 is a result of the work done by thousands of scientists, engineers, our staff and industries and support team across ISRO and other places, other institutions. And Shankaran has been the lead of the center which integrated all of these efforts in the last so many years. So I request him to speak on behalf of all of you.
Thank you very much for the affection that has been displayed today now. Today, we have achieved what we set out to achieve in 2019. It was delayed by about 4 years, but we have done it. When Chandrayaan-3 was launched, after the separation of the spacecraft from launch vehicle, I said, I will speak the rest of the things after the soft landing. So here I will take a couple of minutes to tell the tremendous amount of effort that has been put in by the entire project team. When I say project team, it is not just only the project director and associate project director. Of course, they are the face of the project. They have been living, sleeping, eating, breathing Chandrayaan for the last 4 years. They have been supported by such a large number of people, particularly in the navigation, guidance and control area, propulsion system. This area, the amount of effort that has been put by people, the number of simulations that have been done, the number of reviews they have gone through, the amount of criticism they faced and overcome that. It is, as a person who has been watching this for the last 4 years along with them, my heart goes out for them. The amount of effort is tremendous. That is what ISRO is all about. That is what our organization has taught us to do. Now today, this success has put us even more higher responsibility, as the Honorable Prime Minister was telling, because we have set the bar now so high. Nothing less than nothing less spectacular than this is going to be inspiring for any of us in the future. So as the Honorable Prime Minister mentioned, we will be now looking at putting the man in space, putting a spacecraft around Venus and landing a craft in Mars. Work on all these activities are going on for a few years, and this success today will inspire us and will spur us to take those efforts even more strongly, so that we will make our country proud again and again and again. Thank you very much for every one of you who have directly or indirectly participated in this mission, encouraged us, intentionally or unintentionally helped us in all for every one of you. A big thank you, because even casual remark, an unintended point can help a person who is striving to reach a goal. The person who is making that remark may not have meant it that way, but sometimes it can ignite that's why I said that even unintended help is very, very, very welcome, and we are very, very thankful for that. Thank you, Team ISRO, for supporting all of us. The amount of affection we received when this mission came into this final stage, the number of people who gave us confidence that nothing can go wrong and this is going to be successful. In fact, I was not that much confident, because we have seen a couple of times issues, because I know very well, as a person who has been doing in this domain for 36 years, I know there are thousands of things. Any of that can anytime go wrong and derail, but so many of the people, because that I only see as the reflection of the effort we have put, that people are so happy to see this effort and they want us to succeed. It is not that they know that we are going to succeed. The people want us to succeed. So thank you very much for everyone for your love and affection. We will continue to do our best and make our flag fly, ISRO's as well as India's flag fly high. Thank you very much.
Honorable Prime Minister called me and conveyed his greetings to each one of you and your family for the wonderful work you did in ISRO. Thanks are to him for the support that he is giving to us for missions like Chandrayaan-3 and the missions that are in the offing. I think that's a great word of comfort that we are receiving for pursuing the inspirational work that we are doing for the nation. I want to tell you, and I want to thank you also for each and everyone who prayed with us in the last many days, who wanted this success to happen in ISRO. I thank all those people in all around the country and maybe beyond the country for their blessings and wishes and affection that he has given to each one of us for doing this work for the last so many years. I want to specifically thank some senior people who have been standing with us, especially the name of Kiran Kumar sir and Mr. Kamalakar, Sri Koteshwar Rao. They have been helping so much. They were part of the team to help them to get the confidence and get the reviews done to ensure that nothing goes with any mistakes. And of course, this is not the work of us alone. This is a work of a generation of ISRO leadership and ISRO scientists. And this is a journey we started in Chandrayaan-1, continued in Chandrayaan-2, and Chandrayaan-2 craft is still working and doing a lot of communication work with us. And all the team that contributed to building Chandrayaan-1 and Chandrayaan-2 should be remembered and thanked while we celebrate Chandrayaan-3. And this is an incremental progress and definitely a great, huge one it is. And thank you so much for all the support and work that you have done. Thank you.
National Research and Innovation Agency making a presentation. We request you to please take your seat here in front. And thereafter, Space Angel Australia and SABR in Australia. The presentations will be made, ladies and gentlemen, from this podium. We also have a clicker for your convenience. The clicker, the slide changer, as you can see, has a green button, which is to go ahead on your slides, and the red button is to go back, should you skip a slide. And the other thing that I have to announce is each presenter is going to get 3 minutes. We request you to please stay within time limit, and a buzzer will be sounded at the end of 2 minutes 30 seconds. So that will alert you when you have 30 seconds remaining. Additionally, there's going to be a timer running on the topmost right corner of your screen for you to assess time. I'm sure they'll have it. If you've submitted them, they'll have it. Okay. You've already given them, right? Because yours is the fourth one. Okay. I mean, this sixth actually, because first we have industry bodies. Okay.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now starting with the Space Business Connect session. In this session, we have actually invited overseas and Indian companies to make a pitch about their companies. We have a total of 49 companies as well as 2 industry associations whose representatives are going to be making a pitch presentation. As I said earlier, we request each speaker to be brief and complete their talk in under 3 minutes. Before we begin with the pitch presentation session, we'd like to extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Pavan Goenka, Chairman InSpace, who's going to be chairing this session. We extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Somnath S., Secretary, Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, seated on the head dais. And we also extend a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dr. Vinod Kumar, Director Promotion InSpace, and Mr. Shantanu Bhattavdekar, who's the Scientific Secretary of Indian Space Research Organization. Let's extend a hand and welcome the dignitaries in our midst. And I extend a very warm welcome to all the distinguished delegates. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, I would first, of course, request Dr. Pavan Goenka, Chairman InSpace, to do the opening remarks. Can we have the microphone on, switched on the dais, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Secretaries, DOS, and my other colleagues here. Welcome to the grand finale of a hectic 2 days of schedule. And as was mentioned by Swarya, that we have about 50 people who will be presenting their pitch on their company. And this will be a Guinness Book of World Record probably for 50 people to finish their talk in 2.5 hours. And that too engineers and scientists and business people. So no politicians though. So so let's see how we manage that. But let me just say it's in a way continuation of what we talked about in the morning, where we talked about what each country is doing and now we are talking about what some of the companies are doing. We have a very good lineup of companies that will be making the presentations. And I think you will find, as I looked at some of the presentations, that fair amount of work is happening all over the world, something that none of us perhaps have a full view of. And when we go through this impressive presentation, we will really realize that private sector has come of age when it comes to the space sector. I'm going to request my colleague, Dr. Vinod Kumar, who is Promotion Director in space, to make an opening statement, and then we will start the presentations.
Thank you, sir. Respected Sri Somnathji, Secretary Department of Space, and Dr. Pawan Goenka, Chairman in Space. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon. On behalf of G20 SELM Organizing Committee, I extend a warm welcome to all of you to this amazing Space Business Connect session. During this session, this presentation are planned by global space industry. It is indeed a very significant day as we gather here to witness the cutting-edge innovation and capabilities of space industries from around the world. Friends, we are witnessing a new space era in human history where the space industries are working to revolutionize our understanding of the universe. I am honored to be here before you all as we embark on this journey that we shape the future of space explorations. It is truly inspiring to witness the incredible growth and potential of the global and Indian space industry. The blossoming Indian space industry has garnered worldwide attention and admiration in recent times. You should have read a recent article in New York Times, Explosive Growth of Indian Space Tech Startups. I am pleased to see that out of total 50 plus presentation, over 60% are from Indian industry. Your dedication, ingenuity, and relentless pursuit of excellence have positioned Indian space sector to be reckoned with within the global space community. Friends, the space industry with its ever-expanding opportunities has the power to transform not only the understanding of our universe, but also everyday lives of here on the earth. Under various verticals of space, I would like to express my gratitude to the G20 SELM Organizing Committee for this initiative. Your commitment to nurturing the space ecosystem is commendable, and we are privileged to have your unwavering support. The potential partnership that can develop here can propel your ventures to new heights. Without further ado, let us embark on this remarkable journey of limitless possibilities. Friends, new space era has begun. Thank you, and let the presentation begin. Please stick to the allotted time as we have to have presentation from 50 plus presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we will first start with the presentations from the industry bodies. So I'm going to request Mr. Anil Kumar Bhatt, Director General of ISPA, Indian Space Association, to please make his presentation. Sir.
Good afternoon and Jai Hind. Chairman ISRO, Chairman in Space, dignitaries on the stage, and industry delegates in the Space Economy Leaders Meeting. It's my honor to represent the Indian space industry here, and I will quickly go through some of that has been spoken in the last 2 days, would be a repetition. Please pardon me for that, but I would skip most wherever that is required. The Indian Space Association was made in October 2021 to create an enabling environment for strengthening the private industry in the Indian space sector and to propel India to the global forefront in the entire space ecosystem. And our focus areas were, of course, most importantly, unified for the policy framework, for energizing business growth, to interface with the defense and security agencies in India, for capacity and knowledge building, and for international partnerships. During our inauguration, these are the 4 frameworks the Prime Minister gave us. The first was allow the private sector freedom of innovation. Government to play the role of an enabler. We have to prepare the next generation for the future in space and treat the space sector as a resource for the progress of the common man. We today have these members I am flashing to you to just flash to you the major industry players in space which are there in India. 7 of our founding members, 9 of our core members, all of these have been suppliers of components or vendors to ISRO. And now we are looking at them to evolve as independent entities to do end-to-end work in space. We have associated members also, which are also some of them international companies, and we have a large number of startups. Putting them as per their expertise, this is how the upstream, midstream, and downstream looks in India. This slide was flashed yesterday by the chairman of InSpace. What I wanted to add is from September last year, when the draft telecommunication policy was taken out, and thereafter the draft geospatial policy, and in April this year, the release of the space policy, these have been very important events in the growth of the Indian space sector. And we are awaiting the FDI policy, which we are hopeful will be coming very soon. Notwithstanding that, activities by our industry members have already started in India. This is how the startups have grown today, with a total about 148 which are there recorded, and much more who have registered themselves with InSpace. The chairman ISRO, in one of his talks 6 months back, coined a new word called the National Space Enterprise of India. And what he said was, beyond ISRO, now it is NSIL, InSpace, the entire Indian Space Association, and the entire Indian space industry, that includes startups and academia. And all these, which form the space enterprise, would lead India's future space journey. Of course, many of our industry members will be supported and handheld by ISRO, which has a legacy of more than 60 years. Move the next slide, please. We have had a very positive indication even before the government had announced the policy in 2020, and this is the kind of investment which our startups received in India. And every year it has been increasing, and in 2023, we are very confident that it will cross the figures which are there for 2022. What has happened is, of course, firstly is the signing of the contract for the PSLVs, 5 PSLVs, with HAL and L&T consortium. Then is Skyroot, which was a startup which just came up in 2018 and was able to launch in November 15, 2021. Agnikul is another company which is making a 3D printed semi-cryogenic engine, which has been tested on ground, and we hope they would be launching very soon this year. We had a historical launch of 72 satellites in 2 launches for OneWeb, which happened last year and this year in April. Digantara, again a startup, has successfully launched the world's first commercial space-based weather monitoring systems. Pixel has been able to launch 3 satellites and has also got a contract from NRO in USA. Dhruva has launched 2 nano satellites, while Nelco and Telesat are successfully have had a demo on LEO in India, Ajista just in June, on 10th June, has launched their first satellite. These are just some of the many successes we have had in the last 1 year after the new policy was announced. And in all this, hand-holding by ISRO and support from InSpace has been a very, very major and important factor in the growth of our private sector. These are the other activities which have happened. I'll not go through each one of them. We also got a very policy which I mentioned in April, which gives an opportunity to NGEs to do everything possible, be it in communication, remote sensing, navigation, and in all domains, including space mining and extraterrestrial activities. A lot of faith which has been put in non-government entities by the government, and I'm very sure that our industry will live up to these expectations. We have released certain documents. This document I just wanted to highlight. We had got with E&Y, we had got a study done last year on what is the overall Indian space economy compared to the world one, and the figures by their prediction by 2025, we would have an economy of about 13 billion. In various segments, the figures are given there. Of course, launch vehicles would be the least, about 1 billion. This is what the division of the sectors and the likely percentages growth which are likely to happen in satellite manufacture, launch services, ground segments, and satellite services. The largest growth, of course, would be in the launch services. We have also done a study. We had a meeting along with US and IIT Madras, where we were looking at the association of all space entrepreneurs in the Indo-Pacific. We all met there and we agreed that we would be making an association for all of us being together. On the aspect of space technology parks, many of our states in India have been moving in it. Kerala, Gujarat, Trivandrum, where at one spot they are providing all the opportunities for our space industry companies and especially the startups. We in ISPA carry out two conclaves. One is the Indian Space Conclave, which we started last year, and we had the minister and chairman ISRO there to support us, and a defense space symposium where we looked into what all the defense forces would require, all the three services, and we have been able to get 75 defense challenges for the industry from the Ministry of Defense. We would be having the next conclave from 4th to 6th October this year, and we would welcome all of you for that. I finish here. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, we would once again reiterate the time limit. We have to stick to 3 minutes. Now I'd request Mr. Sanjay Kumar, President, Geospatial World, to kindly make his address.
Thank you very much and very good afternoon. Thank you to Dr. Somnath and Dr. Pawan for giving us this opportunity to talk about. I will be talking on behalf of the global geospatial community, a community which is more on to the downstream applications of space infrastructure, and my title would be more about space infrastructure and geospatial value for the world economy and society. Looking at what's happening around us is a lot of change which is on the rise is climate change, disasters, wasteland, or inflation. And the consequence of that is depleting agrofields, water scarcity, depleting natural resources, flora and fauna, and very important, depleting wealth of the nations. Especially in the last 3-4 years, a lot of wealth has gone away from us. So how do we deal with this situation? It's all about resilience, and resilience of all kinds, be it economic, be it social, be it environmental, be it infrastructure, cultural, or human, diversity, equity. These are the kind of resilience the transition is going on currently around us. So what is the role of space and geospatial infrastructure in that? Geospatial infrastructure and space help you measure, model, monitor, and manage what? And the output is in the form of productivity. It does help you increase productivity, efficiency, transparency, and compliance. And these are very important topics. And actually, when you talk about sustainability of everything, the compliance and transparency are equally important tool of sustainability of everything. And that's where the use of technology for productivity and efficiency is what leads to the economic growth, what leads to the sustainability of everything. Looking at geospace, the foundation of the digital economy. Geospace is actually the foundation. Today, we live in a digital age, and everything is dependent on geospatial technology and space infrastructure. What we help to do is describe the problem, diagnose the problem, predict the solutions, and then prescribe how to address that. This is the kind of workflow cycle we have to find hindsight, insight, and foresight. And that is how the economy is growing. That is how the businesses are using this technology across huge enterprises. You just said so many businesses are just dependent on the power of location, power of GNSS. PNT is inside every digital device of this world. And if the PNT is messed up, all of us are messed up. I'm telling about the economic impact. And what is that impact happening around us is that impact is transitioning our industry as a whole. The industry which was seen as a technology, the industry which was seen as a laboratory or a government function is an industry. So now you don't hesitate in saying that space is an industry or a geospatial is an industry in itself. And that is the kind of transaction taking place. And why this market map talks about is the fact that we have GIS and analytics, Earth observation, GNSS and positioning, frontier technologies, infrastructure modeling, solutions and system integrators, and the new kid on the block is the consulting firms. I can share these slides. I know it is not visible, but that is how the global geospatial and space market is organized. And look at the kind of companies, how they are playing into different parts of the role, and that's what we make a solution. And this slide, it talks about the $202 billion of investment in the last 3 years around geospatial and space. I heard about $100 billion investment, which has been said by various speakers in this summit. But where does other $102 billion comes in? That other $102 billion comes in actually from the location and geospatial investments. Host of investments is going on across the location companies, across the 3D modeling companies, across the indoor GIS companies, across the every aspect of living where we are making use of this technology. This industry is actually growing nowhere less than 17 to 20% CAGR every year. Just depends how do you want to define, how do you want to scope it up. That is what is the scope and definition is what makes you believe or not believe, or rather further believe. So global geospatial industry market currently is about $512 billion, out of which this includes GNSS and Earth observation as well. And let me tell you that 65 to 70% of this market is driven out of GNSS and Earth observation. And GNSS is almost 55% of that model. We give a lot of emphasis on Earth observation, but if you look at the actual uses of the space technology for the citizens or the consumers or the businesses or the security, GNSS is at the driving force. GNSS is the driving force, I want to tell you. And this is growing at the stage of about 14%. I have a caveat to share. When somebody says that, geospatial space economy is about $1 trillion going to be in 2030, I actually disagree. Space economy right now is already $1.7 trillion. But depends on how do you want to define that. Do you take all the applications, which is Uber or Airbnb or Zomato or All those applications and their business values, do you take them into account as part of your economy? Yes. 35 billion deliveries have taken place in India in last 1 year. 35 billion deliveries means what? Every delivery is based on the location. Every delivery is based on the indoor map. Every delivery is based on the 3D modeling. That's what it is. And this is a published figure. We have just a detailed exercise on this, and you have no hesitation in saying that this data is very, very correct. And the economic impact. Today itself, $7.5 trillion of economic impact. We as a profession, as a holistic profession, we make a $7.5 trillion economic impact. I'll just take 1 more minute or 30 seconds to say that why it is important that we actually talk about safety, sovereignty, and trade of space infrastructure. We heard about sustainability of space. We heard about the threats around that. If safety, sovereignty, and trade of space is not taken into account now, all this will be reversed. One bad actor, I already have seen, couple of bad actors can take it so backward that we all would be starting living into an age which we were about 20 years back. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to request PT Pacific Satellite Nusantara, Indonesia, and to all the speakers, the presenters, I'd like to inform you once again now that we have a buzzer which is going to sound at the end of 2 minutes 30 seconds, and so that will alert you that you have 30 seconds remaining. You will also have on the top right of all screens the countdown timer running so that you're aware of time. Let me now invite PT Pacific Satellite Nusantara, Indonesia. Sir, you can also do it from here. Is it
Before it starts, just for the knowledge of people from outside India, one of the areas where India has made significant opening up in this year is in the data availability. Geospatial policy was launched earlier the year, and space policy, and both have now made the space data very easily accessible to anyone and everyone. And there's no approval required of any kind for data below 30 centimeter resolution, or data less than 30 centimeter resolution.
Thank you very much for ladies and gentlemen for the time and for the head of delegation. We are from Pacific Satellite Nusantara. We are a private company in Indonesia. Actually is number 2 for satellite. Usually the number 1 is PT Telkom, is state-owned. But we are growing step by step. Okay, next one. Oh, sorry. So we already 32 years. 1991, PSN is being as a startup at the time. Then we are operating for the beginning as a incline orbit satellite because we don't have money. So we are, but we try to giving solution in the rural area with the motorized antenna and everything's underdeveloped by ourselves to make it incline as a business. And then the second, in 2000, we are together with Lockheed Martin is become MSS, Mobile Satellite Services, at the time as for L-band. And then 2009, we are one of the biggest become cellular backhaul for the GSM using satellite, at that time still using C-band. And 2016, we are complete MBO, means management by objective, means we are finished our financings, we changed our management. So then from that time, we have resources that to change all the platform of PSN. After that, 2019, we start Nusantara-1. This is the first HTS for Indonesia, even already have a IP star at that time. And then after that, 2020, we launched Nusantara-2 from this collaboration with China. 2019 is collaboration with SSL from US, thank you. And also in several weeks ago, we just launched the Satria-1, or we call Nusantara-3. It's a Satellite Republic Indonesia. This is the first collaboration with the government, 150 gigs. And then the next, we hope the second largest, 160 gigabits per second with Boeing. Okay, next. oh, sorry. I back. This is our constellation. Nusantara 1, Nusantara 2, Nusantara 3, and Nusantara 5. And we hope, but Nusantara 2 is failed because of rocket. And then we hope by this year, our capacity will be 300 gigabit per second. And we are still designing another satellite. Our target by 2 years more is like 600 gigabit per second. This is our payload and capacity. Okay, enough, I think. Okay, finish. Basically, we are changed it to Ka band from C band, from Ku, then we changed because the capacity not enough anymore. And then, because I'm a head secretary general for Satellite Association in Indonesia, Indonesia is growing like 65% only for the satellite. So satellite industry in Indonesia is a very high increase. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for staying close to your time limit. Ladies and gentlemen, since we have over 50 presentations, I request you to please stick to time limits. We have to complete all the presentations. And I'm now going to request from Space Angel Australia, Mr. Ram Kuppuswamy, to join us on the podium. Also, I request all the industry body members, people at the back, to take front seats. The front seats are empty. We will take the country placards away very shortly, but we can always invite you to come and take these front seats. Sir, this is your clicker. The green button is for ahead and the red for the...
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Chairman of ISRO, Chairman in Space. I'd like to keep the presentation light. I know it's after lunch. Our project from Space Angel is the Australian Space Super Corridor. We are proud to build the world's first green space spots. Our focus is to provide rapid rocket launches at a low cost from the green space spot. The vision is to will be built together as a public-private partnership with the Western Australian government as well as the federal government in regards to providing access to space. Our project is currently listed on the WA Western Australian Investment government website at the moment, and you can get more information from that. The way we see our supply chain as well as collaboration, a close collaboration with India is very much how this looks like. In terms of shipping routes into Australia, Fremantle Port, which is pretty much Perth, is the entry point, and then it goes through right all the way through Brisbane and then gets back out. The last exit point is through Western Australia itself. So in terms of supply chain is really, really strong. And that's essentially where the southern polar launch location is. And soon we'll be getting an equatorial launch site as well. In terms of the value proposition in regards to the area, if you look at the area, we have about 450 square kilometers of launch site capacity and capability. The airspace is very clear. There's no marine parks at the moment. And in terms of launch aspects, cadence, and trajectories, it's between 51 and 120 degrees. For polar, this is specifically for polar. And we can even launch in terms of across the continent, because in terms of population, there's really a very low population at the moment. And so why Australian Space Super Corridor? Key aspects is like a real estate agent, location, 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 low impact on commercial aviation, low impact on launching and landing anomalies, retrieval opportunities is some of the areas that we're looking at. Environmental and social impacts are very, very important. ESG, we've got certification as a process that we will be going through in terms of ESG certifications for the green space spots. Strong federal and state support. The state government is very, very much driving behind this, and essentially to provide a low cost and high impact, economic impact to the world, to the region, and there's a lot of federal and state funding available, including private funding going on at the moment. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. And before I invite the next speaker, I'm going to invite the next 5 to come and sit closer to the podium. Dassault Aviation France. So from Dassault Aviation, I request the delegate to, esteemed delegate to please join us here. The Exploration Company, we already have our delegate here. Imeria France, Share My Space France, and Leonardo Italy. And with that, I now request Dr. Abhilash Chandra, SCBRN Australia, to please make his presentation.
Thank you. And namaskar, everyone. Dr. Somnath, Chairman of ISRO, Dr. Goenka, Chairman of InSpace. I'd like to thank you for inviting me here to be part of G20. Past 24 hours have been amazing, and I really want to thank everybody for that incredible experience. My background, my name is Abhilash Chandra. I'm Indian by descent, 3 generations removed from India, but India is still in my heart. I live in Australia now, so I've got the best of both worlds. I'm a little bit different to most people here. I'm a practicing vascular general and military surgeon. This is my 23rd year of service in the Australian Army. I've been an infantry soldier, medical officer, and now I'm the senior medical officer for 9th Brigade. I'm also an academic, so industry professor at UniSA and Future Industries Institute. And I'm also the founder and managing director of the Sabrin Group of companies. This background gives me a great opportunity to try and help deliver better healthcare to those who are in the world who need it the most. As we all know, 50% or more of the global population do not have access to adequate healthcare. The top left picture on this slide shows how the distribution of healthcare is globally. The darker areas are areas that do not have enough access to healthcare. So at this point, I'd made it my purpose to try and bring better healthcare faster to all the people who really need it. I've been developing the Sabrin eLife Pod. Basically, it's a transportable life sustainment pod that can provide an integrated emergency ICU and operating theatre capability. It can be transported by land, air, space, including the littoral zone, by a variety of different vehicles, which includes trucks, trains, planes, helicopters, amphibious vehicles, and boats. And when we look at starting to colonize extraterrestrial environments like lunar surface and Mars surface, I want to try and have the eLife Pod also providing the best healthcare for our people on extraterrestrial environments. So the eLife Pod is designed to have better diagnostic, better monitoring, and better treatment capabilities. It'll start off with ultrasound and X-ray. Future generations will have CT scanners. It'll have capability of managing airways, transfusing blood, and performing surgery. It'll have advanced telehealth capability, and it'll be built according to the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. I want to work with India to try and build this eLife Pod. My goal is to try and get the eLife Pod to not only be useful for the Gaganyaan projects in the future, but also try and provide better healthcare for India and the world's poorest as soon as possible, being in line with the one Earth, one family, one future. These are my contact details. Please feel free to contact me with any questions or queries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. May I invite Dassault Aviation France, Mr. Philippe Da Silva.
So good afternoon. Okay, and thank you for this opportunity to be with you today. I represent Dassault Aviation, a French company, leader and pioneer in the aerospace industry, both in military and in commercial sectors. And we have in this domain a very long history of cooperation with India. In the space sector, we are primarily focused on the design of reusable space planes and lifting bodies, which are at the crossroad of aeronautics and space, and which can benefit the most from mature aeronautical technologies. And we have been involved in many spacecraft projects since the 60s, ESA programs, NASA program also. And in all these programs, we have always been committed to apply our proven technical aeronautic skills, making Dassault Aviation a unique player in the space sector. So we believe in synergies between space and aviation, and we believe these synergies will become increasingly strong, particularly to meet the growing needs of the commercial sectors. Many of today's space sector challenges are indeed those that aeronautics sector was able to address yesterday. That is what we did over this last century. I'm talking about reactivity, reusability, flexibility, reliability, and of course safety. And we believe that such vehicles, such space planes, is a smart and relevant solution to address these challenges. So space planes are indeed a missing asset of the global space chain value. I was just talking about technical challenge, but space planes also bring key operational capabilities, such as return from orbit, which is still poorly addressed today, and for which we need to come up with more innovative concepts. Because the need to down mass is going to grow, whether it's people with development of manned flights, but also microgravity experiments, lunar samples, and we are working on such concepts in Dassault Aviation, because tomorrow it will no longer be a question of returning passenger and resources or equipment in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but of operating on hourly schedules, returning as do airplanes at conventional airport and using existing infrastructures. So these are some examples of all the capabilities that can address such orbital space plane. I won't go, we don't have time, but it's transport, cargo transportations, manned flights, and in-service orbit, and a lot of applications. Regarding our skills are a continuation of aviation technologies. We are above all a global architect and system integrator, mastering all the key technological skills for design, development, testing, production, certification, support of complex air system. And we have extended these key aeronautical skills to the space domain as an extension of the flight domain, faster and higher. As conclusion, I will say that over the past 10 years, the global space sector has undergone an unprecedented transformation and expansion, and as a player in aerospace innovation for over a century, Dassault sees this transformation as a great opportunity. An opportunity to meet new challenges, to make space more accessible, more responsive, more safe, more reliable, and also less expensive. And we are convinced that we have much to contribute to this transformation, and we seize a real opportunity to develop fruitful cooperations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We have next the Exploration Company France, Ms. Helen Huby.
Okay. So, hello everyone, and I'm going to bring you in space. Our mission is to democratize space exploration, so to make it affordable, that is to say accessible from a price point of view, to make it sustainable. We are the first in the world to fly a space capsule with green propellant, and to make it open. We are the first in the world to open source our interface, and we want to be able to serve in a cooperative manner International Space Station, American Space Station, and also Chinese Space Station one day. So you see here basically our vehicle, our vision. Our vision is to make basically orbital vehicle like Volkswagen makes car. Our vehicles are made out of 2 bricks, 1 capsule, which fly to space station around the Earth, fly to space station around the moon, and then comes back and then can be reused, flying with green propellant, a technology that we develop in-house. And the second brick is the trunk, the service module, empty or filled with cargo when we go to space station around the Earth, and when we go to the moon we need additional energy, so we develop in-house a cryogenic oxygen methane engine that enable us to go to the gateway and or to land at lunar surface, and that engine can be refueled in orbit, so hence we can use, for example, the Starship capability as a tank to be able to perform several missions. So these are like cool design, but probably you want to know where we are today. So we started working in September 21. Today we're actually 82 employees because we grew since that slide, so since last week. We've raised around about 55 million euro, which is a record in Europe. We closed the biggest Series A ever raised in Europe by a space company. That when there were war in Ukraine and double-digit inflation. And we are flying this year in October together with India. So thank you then to Radhakrishnan for the excellent cooperation that we've been able to set up with him. So we fly our first baby capsule second week of October, and it will be launched by PSLV. And in 24, we fly our subscale vehicle that will be launched by SpaceX. I want to show you some cool hardware picture, so that you can see that this is real actually. You see on the left-hand side our baby capsule that will be launched here from India, second week of October. You see in the middle the mid-size capsule, which is currently in the manufacturing process. On the bottom of the slide, you see our new integration room in Germany, and you see on the right-hand side the two in-house engines that we're developing in-house, green propulsion on the one hand, and oxygen methane for landing at lunar surface. And as a conclusion, I would like to thank again India for this amazing organization and for giving me the opportunity to present to you the exploration company, as well as for the great cooperation so that we can launch together this year our first baby capsule, and for the cooperations to come, among them a strong cooperation for the parachute and more to come. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Madam. And with that, I'd like to invite Emeria of France, Mr. Philippe Gauthier.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you very much to give us the opportunity with my colleagues to present our industry. I hope I will survive to the buzzer torture. Okay, Emeria in brief. We are a medium-sized company, 70 million of revenue, 400 employees, 3 plants. And to summarize, we have 3 lines of products for space, but not only space, for sky also. Satellites, we design and make small satellite, balloons, and also we have a product line of equipments to make trajectography. Please, next. Oh, yes, I have the, I did not understand, excuse me. Up. Okay, fine. We propose small sats. Small sat means satellites which are under 100 kilograms and which address, I would say, 3 market segments. One is connectivity, mainly IoT. We are providing the satellites for a constellation called Kineis in particular. One product line is for Earth observation. And the third one, up to now, is only dedicated to defense application, is for space surveillance, and we are manufacturing right now 2 satellites for the French MOD to be in a geo-orbital orbit. And the purpose of those satellites is going to protect the key assets that the forces have in a geo-orbit. We have also under development a vehicle to take care about transportation of satellites up to geo-orbit. About the balloons. Balloons are systems now which are becoming again, I would say, fashionable. But just focus on the one category of balloons, which are stratospheric balloons. We are developing a maneuvering balloon, which is going to be able to stay at something like 20 kilometers of altitude during 6 months and to stay stable in regards of the ground, so that there will be a lot of applications, Earth observation, telco, and so on, and it will be available in next year, in fact. And I wanted also to be brief to talk about our last baby. We are also investor. We are trying to move also downstreams for space application, and it has been well said in the presentation before that the business is much growing in that arena. And we have created one year ago a startup which is going to focus on the subject of water, inland water, management of the water, prediction of disasters, with two segments. We are going to put in orbit a constellation of satellites to make certain measurements daily on 30,000 points on the Earth. And we have also, of course, a digital segment, which is providing data and services to manage quality and quantity of water. And of course, it's a key subject all around the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And the esteemed delegate from Share My Space, France, Mr. Romain.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dear Chairman, I'm very honored to be here with you and to present to you my company, Share My Space. So we are a French-based company with a global ambition, and we work in the field of space surveillance and space operations safety and security. So we were incorporated in 2017 for one fundamental reason, Earth orbit congestion. So now there are more and more satellites in Earth orbits, more and more space debris that are causing increasing risks for the sustainability of human activities in space. So our fundamental mission is to tackle that. So how do we do it? So we've built a system that we called our orbital information system, which is a set of algorithms and database architecture, all secured. So we ingest, process, package, and distribute high added value data for our customers, who are institutions, military bodies, and commercial players in the space sector. So we ingest data from various sources, public sources, sources from partners, including our customers. And as a key part of our orbital information system, we control a network of optical stations scattered around the world. We currently have 4 operational optical stations. And we've actually designed, developed, and deployed the key innovation that we call the multi-telescope observation station. So it's an optical system made out of 4 optical telescopes that scan the sky and detect all the objects that cross an observation ring. So it works a little bit like a radar system would do, but using optical technology, which enables us to drive the costs down and to bridge the gap with the commercial market. So we've designed the system to be extremely sensitive in LEO, across all orbits, and in particular in LEO, also very, very accurate, so it enables us to address a wider market. So currently we detect even the smallest objects in the US catalog, both in LEO and in GEO. So going forward, so yeah, we've successfully addressed the key segments of our market, so institutions, military, and commercial players. We have 15 customers in 7 different countries around the globe, and we've really managed to package key products for each of these segments. So we are looking forward first I'd like to thank again the ISRO and CNES for having us here, and we're definitely looking forward to further collaborations with Indian partners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, before I invite the next speaker from Leonardo, Italy, we have Thales Alenia Space lined up. After that,